Well, hello, positive friends. Ross Braun here, and you are on another episode of the Positivity Wins podcast. And I want to thank you for joining in today. As I always say, if podcasts aren't your thing, then get out of here. Head over to my website, themrbraun.com. And we've got a full blog on today's topic. Read it, enjoy it, let me know what you think. But you're the podcast type. If you just want to listen in on your daily commute, in your lunch hour, whatever it may be, I've got something that is on my heart today that I want to share with you. And that is talking about leadership. And as I preface all the time, leadership is not a title. I actually recently heard a statistic that 95% of adults associate leadership with a title. And for kids, for students, it's even higher. 98% of kids associate leadership with a title. It's insane to me because leadership is not a title. Leadership is about everyday living, how you lead in your friend circles, your family, your own homes, your communities, and yes, at your job. But you don't need a title to do that. So today's episode is all about leadership, and it's the fact that you do not need a cape to be a leader, to be a superhero when it comes to positivity. And so I'm very, very excited to dive into this one with you. So the title of this episode is Positivity is a Leadership Superpower. And I just want to start out by saying this. It's not the fluffy, everything is perfect. There is no wrong. Everyone can't be upset about anything. That type of leadership. No. A lot of times I get accused of that you're just, perfect and happy all the time. And it's definitely not the case with me. And I don't expect it to be the case with others. This isn't that type of leadership. This is real, authentic leadership, the type of leadership that cares about the people who it's leading. And so we're going to talk about the type of leadership that actually brings light into dark places, that does not allow negativity to creep in. And so we're going to get into it, but I just had to start by getting that off my chest a little bit. And just like in every episode, we are going to follow our Positivity Wins playbook. And so we've got each section that we're going to talk about. And in this first one, this is a positive story. I think we need more of this, right? We just need to look around and say, you know what, there are great things happening in our country, in our world, in our communities. And this one right here, I saw this week and I thought, wow, that's cool. It's a company called, it's actually a nonprofit called Delivering Good. And they are celebrating their 40th anniversary. And what Delivering Good does is it donates, gives, provides nice, brand new clothing to people in need. And we know that there are a lot of people who need this right now. And so it does target, people that are just in need, but it also focuses on folks that have been affected by natural disasters. And in the past few years in our country, wow, has that not been happening? But so many natural disasters where people just lose everything. So Delivering Good comes in and they just provide people with hope. They provide them with brand new clothing, nice name brand clothing, because they partner with these companies that want to do this. And so it's a really special organization. I saw this quote from their CEO and I just want to share it. It says, it's not just about clothing, it's a starting point for healing after a disaster, for showing up at school or working with confidence, for beginning again when everything else has been lost. And if you know me, I like clothing. I like to look good and whatever you want to say. But I just my kids call me the fashion dad, right? Because when they want to see what's they should wear for school tomorrow, they always come to dad, not mom. And so that's the joke in our house. But it's so true, right? When you walk into an office or you walk into an interview, you're any type of setting, and you look good and you feel good, your confidence is already higher. You come in with that attitude of, hey, I am supposed to be in this room. And it's so important. So shout out to Delivering Good and shout out for what they're doing all around the country, but shout out for being our positive story of the week. And so now let's get into the nitty gritty here. The topic of today's episode, that you do not need a cape to lead. You just need to be positive to lead. And I see so many leaders in our schools and our organizations and our Fortune 500 companies that just come in with a negative mindset. And typically those people do not last very long. And that's the reason is because they had the wrong mindset that they're leading. And so in this part, we're going to look at a few different things. It's in the blog that I wrote earlier on this week, but we're going to talk about how a positive leader drives people forward. A positive leader builds trust, brings hope, sustains resilience, and it multiplies impact. And so number one, a positive leader drives people forward. A positive leader is a servant leader. And so when we look at the people that we are driving forward, we look at them as the people that we are serving. And again, you don't have to have a title for this. You just have to have a heart to serve. And leadership, when we talk about this in every episode, I feel like it's needed everywhere. It's not just needed in my job place. I need someone that I can call boss. Leadership is needed in every aspect of our lives. And I always ask myself this when it came to leadership, as just, in my gosh, in high school, on teams, in my early 20s, as I was going out into the real world, I always ask myself, why not me? Right? If I want to make the biggest positive impact that I possibly can on others, then I'm going to have to do it by being a leader and being a role model and, going out and stepping out first and saying, this is the right way to do things. And that's leadership. That's how we drive people forward. So my question on this topic is, if you have a title, if you don't have a title, as you go into your workplace or as you go into the teams that you coach or the teams that you're on, do you ever ask yourself, what energy am I bringing to this organization, to this team, to this group of people? Do you really look in the mirror? I call it the mirror test. You look in the mirror and say, what am I bringing this week? What am I bringing today? This practice, this game. And I think a lot of times we look in the mirror and we're like, it's not my best self. It's this negative mindset. I'm carrying this baggage from whatever it may be. And you either need to talk to somebody about it or you got to put it aside and say, you know what? Here we go. Right? We are going to show up and give 110% for these people that I am serving. And so, number one is to drive people forward, because in leadership, people are looking to you. And how we handle certain situations, and every situation really, determines how others handle a very similar situation. I was recently on the GYTO Flip Side podcast. Shout out to Hope and Wade for having me on. What an honor and a privilege. I'm still just, pinch myself that I got to be on that podcast. But one of the things that we talked about is empathy, and empathy, just the lack of empathy in our country, in our society, and no doubt in our schools. And we talked about, how do you fix that? And my answer was simple. Is we got to start modeling it. We got to start leading with empathy, because who is watching in every conversation, every, situation that we're in? It's little sets of eyes, right? Our kids are watching. When two adults come in the hallway and they have like a head-to-head blow, I see it in school all the time. It just blows my mind. Have a head-to-head blow, two adults that are acting children, but they have a head-to-head blow. There's a whole classroom behind them watching how they just handled that situation. And so how are they going to react when they're put in a similar situation? No doubt, right? They're watching the adults. Number two, let's go on. Activity builds trust. A positive leader builds trust in an organization, because people do not follow people that they do not trust, right? We see it in every stop along the way when it comes to leadership. If I don't trust you, there is no way in the heck I'm going to follow you. Might run us off this cliff right now. But when people that you are serving trust you, I don't care how close they are to the cliff, how close you are to the edge, because they trust you. They know that you're going to get them to the edge, tackle whatever you need to tackle, and get back safely. Think we talked about this on that podcast as well. And we talked about it in schools, but I believe it's everywhere. As adults, we still want these three things. We want to be seen, valued, and loved in our homes, obviously, in our relationships. But we also want that in our workplace. And I don't mean some mushy gushy type of love. I just want to be able to show up and know that who I am working for values what I bring to the table. They see what I bring to the table and they care about because that's love, right? I care about you. I will show up for you. I will go the distance for you. I fight for you. I will speak highly of you in rooms that you are not in. That's love. And as adults, we want that same thing that our second and third and fourth graders want when they walk into a school building: seen, valued, and loved. A positive leader does that by building trust in the organization. Because, like I said, people are going to follow someone that they have to follow. They're going to follow you if they want to follow you. Whew, people, here we go. Number three, positive leaders bring hope. This is a big one. Right? This is kind of one of those big picture topics, hope. But I think I've said it before on the podcast. This is what we're all longing for. Hope could be in that relationship. It could be in that diagnosis that you have. It could be for our country right now, for the school that your kids are in, for the leaders of our communities that are making decisions for us. We're just hoping for a better tomorrow. We're hoping that we get through this current situation and we come out better on the other side. That's hope, right? And hope does not happen, I believe, unless we are believing in ourselves. And there are so many people that lack this. If you know me much at all, you know that believing in yourself is kind of my mantra for life. And it hasn't always been the case. It started a few years back with a really good friend of mine, helping me through a tough time. And so one of the things that he told me was, you just got to believe in yourself. You are capable of great things. You have it inside of you. You were born to do this job. You are already doing great things. You just got to believe in yourself. The sky's the limit. And I really took that to heart and believed it. And at School Life, we designed a whole kind of line about believing in yourself. And so we've got this believe in yourself bracelet that I wear every single day. I never take it off. Every time that I speak at a school or an organization, I usually pass these out. You would be shocked how many times I've passed these out in airports across the country. TSA agents to fast food workers. We have conversations and I say, hold on a second. Of course, I keep a great big bag of them in my backpack. I'm like, hey, you're doing great things. You should believe in yourself. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Thanks for keeping our, you know, airlines and our skies safe, whatever it may be. And to see the look on that person's face when I give them this silly 50-cent band or dog band, whatever it is, and say, I believe in you. I just met you, but I believe in you. You need to believe in yourself. It's truly, there's nothing like it. And so, a couple things I encourage you to take that to heart. Start believing in yourself. You do have great things inside of you. You're already doing amazing things, but start telling others as well. And then the other thing is, if you would like one of these believe in yourself bracelets, comment your email address or comment your name, and I will send you a DM for your address, and I'm just going to mail you one because you deserve it. You deserve that daily reminder. Next one is to sustain resilience. Whew, resilience is out there, right? I know I've come through this, whether it was negative people, whether it was tough times, you know, the old saying, tough times don't last, but tough people do. You'll get through this. Resilience is all about staying positive and understanding that this is just a season. This is just a one time incident. But if we remain positive and true to our mission, to our core, to our values and our beliefs, then we'll come out better on the other side. So resilient leaders, they don't pretend that everything is easy. They don't pretend that everything is in this land of just rainbows and unicorns. What they do is they model how to bounce back after it. They encourage everyone in the organization to say, we've got this, stick together. And you start gossiping and speaking negativity into this place, then it's going to make it a lot tougher for me. It's going to make it a lot tougher for you and your neighbor to get through this. We've got to remain positive. We've got to work together instead of against each other through this. So they take obstacles and they turn them into opportunities. I'm gonna say it again. They take obstacles and they turn them into opportunities. If you are a leader, you see obstacles day in, day out, a lot of times, some big, some small, some have to do with people, processes, things that are a lot of times are out of your control. How are you taking those obstacles and turning them into opportunities? And it starts with this whole positivity mindset. Next up, it multiplies impact. If you are in a leadership position, or you can say, yes, I am a leader. I don't have a title. I don't really want a title, but I am a leader in what I'm doing. I am leading others. I'm modeling this way of life to others. Then this has got to be your mission. Impact, multiplying impact. I've said this before. My mission is life. Life is to make a positive impact on as many people that I possibly can. I'm going to use this platform here to help me do that. But our goal has to be we are multiplying what we are doing, multiplying our impact. Because I can't go and speak to every school in the nation. That would be impossible. I'm already traveling enough. I need others to say, you know what, I'm going to be this ripple in my school. I listened to this podcast, I followed Ross, and I want our school to be a positive place where people feel seen, valued, and loved. We have success because we are keeping true to who we are. We've built this amazing culture. Real impact of positivity is when it multiplies. That's it. So at the end of the day, positive leadership isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about listening to those that you serve and letting them know it's going to be okay. Think about that. As we wrap this up, your power move for the week is to start every meeting, practice, conversation with a win. This is something I picked up my days as a teacher and then eventually into my leadership as well, is I would start every parent teacher conference, every phone call with a parent with something good. We actually started doing this in my classrooms. We would start every class period because I would teach 5, 6, sometimes 7 class periods. We would start every class period with tell me something good. Because when we open up the conversation, we open up the meeting, the practice, whatever it may be, on a positive note, when it comes time to hear the tough parts, then we already have established that this isn't a place for negativity. This is going to be a place where we share positivity. We look at things through a positive lens. When we see obstacles, we're going to find opportunities to fix them. And so I encourage you to do that. If you're a principal, one thing that I like to do is we get in a circle and say, we are going to share a positive student outcome that happened this week, this past month, whatever it may be. Because a lot of times when we do this, we're like, oh yeah, I did this or I did that. No, tell me something good that a student did in your classroom or that a student did in this school. And then the final buzzer, final advice for you as you go out into this week. I already hinted at this a few times, but it is to be the light. What does that mean? It means that anyone can point out what is wrong, right? I could do that if I wanted to all day long. And so when you point out to me things that are not right or that you don't agree with, cool, right? Because anybody can do that. But real, authentic, and positive leadership is pointing out what is possible, is looking at the obstacles and finding the opportunities. That's leadership. That is positivity at its finest. That's what people are looking for. That's what people want. The person that can just point out what is wrong in this situation. And so I encourage you this week in your families, in your friendship circles, your communities, schools, wherever you may be a light. That's all we got on episode 7 of the Positivity Wins podcast. I thank you for tuning in, for joining and listening again this week. Can't wait. We're going to talk about some gratitude and thankfulness in episode 8 because obviously we're right here in the Thanksgiving season, in this time that we need to be reminded of what we are thankful for and the gratitude that we should be practicing each and every day. If you enjoy this episode, I appreciate it. If you like, share, tell your friends about it, tell your neighbors about it, because when positivity wins, we all